one last stop to make, and things are looking up. Now, not quite as tall as the tower here, but through the old Anchor Stove and Range building, if you could see, there's a beautiful brick and white-faced tower, 7 stories tall. New Albany's original skyscraper, exactly 100 years old this year. And, oh, I should tell you, by the way, not everybody you have seen tonight has a stone exactly where you're standing. Now, Telka was right there, of course, where she was. Some of our folks are nearby to where the stones are. And the next one is actually way up on the other side of that last tree, but it's too hard to get there for you. Believe me, we'll let you come by this shortly to see it. But you know, some stones are simply missing. They were perhaps never put up, or they've been destroyed by vandalism, or in a few cases, people simply don't want you to know that they're there in the first place. Told you about Bud Meyer. Bud Meyer was the son of the Sheriff Meyer here in town. He was also the first public curator of the Culbertson Mansion. Oh, and he had some amazing thoughts about New Albany. He used to tell me he would get homesick. And I said, Bud, you get homesick for New Albany? He said, oh yes, I get so sick of New Albany I have to go back to New York. Nonetheless, there's another sheriff that's buried here. I'm sure there's more. Sheriff Fullenlove is buried here. And Sheriff Fullenlove was beaten and wounded in the attack on the jail by the Scarlet Mask Society, the vigilantes out of Seymour, Indiana, who came to break into the jail to lynch the Reno Brothers. And they threw the 3 Reno brothers over the railing, and Charlie Anderson too. 2 weeks before Christmas, and Charlie was the only Canadian in the bunch, and Frank and Charlie had actually escaped Canada, but they were brought back. The only 2 federal prisoners ever lynched before trial. And since Charlie was Canadian, although the brother's sister came to identify the bodies, she was being kept very nicely in a ladies' seminary in Louisville. Nobody ever came for Charlie. He's here someplace. Probably over in Potter's Field, honestly, now that I think about it. But there were actually 4 Reno brothers. See, the second oldest was John, and John escaped being lynched because he was already serving 10 years in prison in Kansas. They let him out. He came back to actually Rockford, Indiana, immediately north of Seymour. And then spent 3 more years in prison for counterfeiting. And yet there was a 5th Reno brother, Clint. Honest Clint. Now, I promise you I might tell you something here. Honest Clint. Now, he's famous too, because that's the part that Elvis Presley played in his first movie, Love Me Tender. Let's walk.